ba 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 da 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 da. Okay, this is chapter 7 of Higurashi. Well, sub chapter 7. Okay. Okay, good morning. Nice job with yesterday, Ki-chan. You didn't do so badly yourself, Mion. Yesterday was fun. Oh, that's right, Kakechi-kun. Thank you very much for Mr. Bear. I'm glad you liked it. Don't use it as a pincushion, though. I wouldn't. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Still chatting happily, we entered the classroom, but the moment I stepped into the room, a splashing sound and a nasty sensation. There's a bucket full to the brim with water, and then unfortunately my foot stepped right into it. Mine, now. How diligent of you to mop the floor this morning. Clump, 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 wish, whiff. Wah, bah. Hachi-san fixed my forehead. Ba-ba-ba-ba. To set a more brutal trap next time. Seeing that Venus began to swoon as Mia looked on dejectedly. Exactly, everything was the same as always. Everyone was there and nothing felt out of place. The uncertainties I had in the back of my mind since yesterday had vanished. What is it, Kakechi-kun? Didn't get enough sleep, maybe? Maybe? I slept like a log, but if you want, I'll do a reenactment during class. You shouldn't do that. Mia alerted us that the teacher was coming, so everyone shifted off to their seats. Ba ba ba. Good morning, everyone. So yesterday was a festival. Thank you to all the people who stayed until the very end to help clean up. We all staggered, so none of us actually helped clean up. Actually, I had a feeling that the only thing we did was run around the festival and cause a ruckus. Okay, then this time of year, you might see some people here from out of town doing interviews about the festival and for magazines. I thought it was the usual stuff, so I was going to tune it out, but then I noticed a different tone in her voice and started paying attention. You may be asked questions. Please don't say anything silly or something that could be taken the wrong way. Do you understand? Eunice and everyone replied, yes, ma'am. What she'd said was really vague, but I understood what she was trying to say. After all, this was the 5th year. There'd probably going to be a lot of third-rate reports pouring in, hoping something regarding the curse had happened. It did nothing but perpetuate the village's bad image. She was saying, don't spout stupid shit, you think it's funny. And now I was one of ones who need to keep their mouth shut. Okay. I found it rather cute how I felt a sense of unity for such a trifle thing, if I do say so myself. Why do I hear my thingy? Is that blowing up? I don't know. I was summoned to club activities after school. Since everyone was still pretty tired from yesterday, we just spent the day relaxing. Yeah, that wasn't happening. Today let's play a classic game of deduction. How about this one? Oh, a game from overseas. Looks interesting. The instructions are in English, but the rules don't seem that hard. I won't lose you here. I'm not too bad at this game. It seemed that Rena didn't handle this kind of game very well. The rules are, the person who can match the murderer, weapon, and the scene of the crime wins. I haven't played this game before. There were 3 kinds of cards to compromise our suspects, weapons, and locations. I could see that the names Mion and Rika were written on the suspect cards. Oh, and a card with my name on it as well. There are plenty of different weapons too, like knives, axes, and poison. The locations are pretty nice too, like the living room, the study, and the courtyard. So basically, you take out one of each of the cards, and these are the answer cards. So we shuffle the remaining cards and hand them out. We ask each other about the cards and figure out the right ones. Oh, I see. So the cards nobody has are the true perpetrators. I see. What if you don't know all the locations though and weapons? Then you raise your hand. If you know the answer, the game ends. and we check if the answer is correct. If you're right, then you get a point. If you're wrong, then you lose a point. Since the game ends if no one gets it right, all cards are gathered up and redistributed. You'll learn as you go. Whatever. You really have to use your brain. You get confused if you don't take notes. The rest you can figure out by playing, so Mion, what's the penalty this time? Everyone directed their attention to Mion. Let's see. We're also a bit tired from yesterday, so maybe she'll take it easy to go for penalty. You'll be asked to rush out and buy stuff for everyone. So just being asked to go and buy stuff like drinks and candy, I guess? I feel like the penalty today is pretty simple. I wonder, is it really? Is Kakashi-san thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah. You don't know what you'll have to go buy. I'm betting Mion would send someone out. I'm betting Mion would send out whoever loses to buy stuff like hemorrhoid cream or happy family planning manual or other crazy stuff. What? Happy family planning manual? The cards were lightly shuffled and passed out to each other. The real perpetrator, the correct weapon, and the scene of the murder have been taken out, so that means all the cards I have in my hands are innocent cards. Then I'll go first since I'm the club president, I guess. Well then, Mion, knife, study. Pick one suspect, weapon, and murder scene and ask each person. If you have any of those cards, you must say I have one. However, you don't need to say which one you have. Yeah, I got it. Me too. I have one. Oh my, all of them are here. The people answered when she asked if they had Mion, knife, and study. So that means Mion, knife, and study are all in the clear. Got to jot that down. Then I'll go. Vina, axe, lounge. Only 2 people said they had one. So it means out of Vina, axe, and lounge, one of them is correct and is part of the crime, or someone has 2 of one. No wait, even if they say they have one, they don't have to say how many. It's possible that either Satoko or Rika-chan had 2 of the cards. Well, Ki-chan is next, go ahead. Wait, just a little. I'm still sorting things out. The game has me thinking more than I thought. Oh man, this feels like it's gonna be tough. Alright, now I have the criminal. What? Already? Here I am spinning around in circles and Mion just now raises her hands. The murderer is Rika-chan, in the infirmary with the poison. Well, Mion drew the cards in the box and we checked to see if her deduction was right. You were right! All I needed was one more hand. I couldn't tell whether it was poison or a pistol. I would never use a pistol. I like killing them slowly with poison. Rika-chan said such a hugely terrifying thing with such a sweet little face. Everyone was making a commotion about how they almost had her. Rina and I were left out in the cold though. How did you do, Kakashi-kun? I couldn't get it at all. Don't worry, I had no idea either. How can you both be so unsure? You both end up in last place together at this rate. That's even worse. Going off buying something together as a couple? What if we end up having to buy the Happy Family Planning Guide? I can tell from Kakashi's expression that he's not very good at this game. What? That's not true. I'll show you the true power of Sherlock Mabara during the next round. My, that sounds just wonderful. I shall give you quite the thrashing. After that I managed to somewhat grasp the trick behind the game, but I was still always a step or 2 behind. I saw that Mion was somehow gleaning information from how the others were asking their questions. A level of experience was just too much. The only way I could stage a comeback was if I became ruthless. I touched out the simple concept of deduction, switch over to the thought process needed to win. The important thing isn't to find out the criminal, it's to win the game. Eureka! Sorry, need to go to the bathroom. Take your time and squeeze out a nice one. Me-chan, that's gross. I had them a hold of the game and headed down this hole. The air was crisp. It showed just how stagnant the air in the classroom was from our body heat. On the school grounds, some of our classmates were still playing around. After spending some time cooling my head, Rina had made her way over towards me. Getchi-kun, did you call for me? Yeah, I did. And as I got up from my seat, I winked over at Rina. I'm glad it worked. I don't want to waste too much time, so I'll get right to the point. Rina, what's your record at this game we're playing today? She was taken aback. After a moment. She hesitantly opened her mouth. Well, all losses? Why do you ask, I wonder? I could tell from how apprehensive she was playing. The way things are going, I will, as well. I can't figure out a way to pull off a last-minute comeback on this one. So, I guess both of us will be taking the penalty. Hey, don't accept defeat already. How about we win this? Both of us. But how can we win? I brought my lips up to Rina's ear. Huh? Is that allowed? Did you forget, Rina, the second rule of our society? Do everything in your power to obtain victory. Yeah, I'll try my best. Our plan of attack was a quite rudimentary one. At the beginning of the game, everyone would be focused on their own hands for a while, taking notes and whatnot. So our seats were since our seats were right next to each other, we would reveal our hands to each other. If we did it under the desk, nobody would know. We'd begin the game with twice as much information as everyone else. Having this much information would mean we would need to investigate less. With this sort of plan of attack, we start off with a big lead over the other guys. Yeah, with this we can probably win. We both smirked at each other. If I was the shady businessman, then Rina was the corpus senator. Pleasure doing business with you. Then let's hurry back. We'll work as a duo to surprise everyone. Hey now, there's no point if we go back together. It would be like flat telling them we made a little agreement. Oh, sorry then, what should we do? Go back ahead of me, Rina. I'll take my time coming back after washing my face or something. Okay, got it. Rina turned around and headed back to the classroom. I guess I should wait a little longer before going back. If I went too soon, it wouldn't seem like I went to the bathroom. If me or one of them suspected something, then there could be problems. Well, they'd figure out sooner or later because both Rina and I would start winning over and over again. Both Rina and I will have earned enough points to avoid being the losers by the time Mion realized what was happening. Excellent. Not bad at all. Mabata-kun, may I have a moment? It's the teacher. Man, things were just getting good. What is it? I'm a bit... You have a guest. Please make your way to the entrance. A guest? It's not like I own a hotel. I have you waiting. Please hurry. It was rather uncomfortable to have someone waiting on me right before my big match, but I was more interested in the unexpected guest. I didn't want to waste any time, so I decided to take care of it quickly. The entrance was heavily contrast from the hot sunlight and deep shadows entranceway. Hello. Waiting there, looking uncomfortably warm, was a middle-aged man, his ties sloppily loosened, and his jacket tucked underneath his arm. Are you Mabata-san? Higurashi Mabata-san? There's no question that he wasn't a resident of Himizawa, and this was without a doubt the first time he had met me. Every time I met Tomitake-san, I'd be running into so many middle-aged men. That's right. Who might you be? I have the AC on in my car. Let's talk there. It's a bit hot here, don't you think? The man, completely ignoring my question, pointed over to his car, parked near the gate, and began walking. You gotta be kidding me. I had no interest in going along with some geezer I didn't even know, and he was asking me to get into a car with him? I'm not going to buy it. Come on now. He opened the back door of his car and called me over. I didn't like this old man, but I wanted to know what this was about, so I got into a stranger's car. Even while knowing that conversation that started out like this have never led to anything good. The inside of his car was pretty cool. Cars with air conditioning weren't supposed to be a luxury. My dad didn't have one in his car at least. Please let me know if it's too cold for you, okay? I have a habit of cranking up all the way. So what business do you have with me? Out of spite, I decided to ignore his remark in the same way he did to me, and start my own line of questioning. He pulled out a notepad from his pocket and took out a picture that was stuck between the pages. Oh, it was the face of a pretty goofy looking guy. If you know anything related to this individual, then please tell me. Who the heck is this? I doubt even his closest friends would be able to recognize who he was from this expressionless picture that looked like it was taken at the DMV. There were scribbles on his shirt done in permanent marker, signed with yours Mabada-san, and quite a few of your classmates signed as well. Huh? This is Tommy-san? There was no hint of the usual unreliable and easygoing personality in this photo. His expression was half-asleep face. Then, do you know this woman? Even before seeing it, I had a good idea of who it was. I don't remember her name, but she's some lady who was with Tommy-san last night. I didn't know what her name was, but I did know she was a resident of Himizawa. When was the last time you saw these two? The night of the Onikakushi we spoke. They seemed pretty close, I guess. Did anything bother you about them? Anything is fine. Go ahead and say it. Being asked for every little detail is very troubling, honestly. I had a pretty good idea of who this guy was by now. Did something happen to them? There was no response to my inquiry. Thus I replied to that silence in kind. I was pretty sure, no, certain, that this guy was a cop. Then why? Why was he asking about Tommy-san? Did something happen to him? More importantly, why me? Shouldn't there have been plenty of other people who knew more about him than me? The roar of the air conditioning felt unbearably loud. After a long pause, he finally spoke again. You've just moved here recently, isn't that right, Mabara-san? Are you aware, I wonder, about the stories of Orishida-sama? My heart began to race. I'm pretty terrible at hiding things. It probably showed on my face. Not at all. If you don't, then that's fine. Well, I have heard of it. Tommy-san told me, actually. How much do you know about it? The dismemberment killing, the accidental death, the death by illness followed by suicide, and the lady who was beaten to death. The incidences that have always happened the day of the Onikakushi ending in suspicious deaths. I didn't think Tommy-san would have kept anything from me. I think that was everything. No, rather, I didn't want to think there was anything more than that. Do you know of that, well, curse, Mabara-san? Feel free to openly talk about it. I don't believe in it. My answer was instant. It wasn't so much that I didn't believe in it as I was on the verge of believing. I wanted to clear away my doubts. That was the most prominent feeling. Really? Then that's great. I guess you really are one of those city-raised boys. So, what if I don't believe? I have friends waiting, so could you get to the point? The man in this picture is dead. My mind went blank. Huh? What happened to Tommy-san? It would seem that he died last night. That was another Onikakushi. Do you understand the implications behind that, Mabara-san? Implications, not any for the cause of his death or the reasons behind it. The real problem was that he died on the night of the Onikakushi. Meaning this year, the curse of Orishida-sama has once again. The death of, Gio Tommy-san is still confidential. You can't understand why that is, right? I didn't want to understand why. Please tell me. Tell me what happened. It was rather peculiar. It might be a little too graphic with someone born and raised in Himizawa. It was a roundabout way of saying, but it caused me to doubt whether or not I wanted to hear the rest. I would only regret forcing myself to learn of something I shouldn't. Or at least, that's how I figured I would feel if I listened to the rest. One of our control cars discovered the body and the way back from security details at the festival. Oh, this is from the tips. It was late and about 5 till midnight. The location was, you know where the road into town becomes paved, right? Down past the slopes on the shoulder around there? There were few streetlights on that road. Its pitch black darkness was only broken by the light of passing cars and the moon. It was a stroke of luck that Tommy-Tuck-san was spotted, collapsed on the shoulder of the road. Tommy-Tuck-san was face down, covered in blood. Blood and muck covered the asphalt. We thought it was a hit and run at first, but when the officer checked to see if he was still alive, he quickly noticed something abnormal. His throat had been ripped open. From a knife or something? No. Nails. Nails? As in fingernails? With those he clawed through. From the coroner's report, it was revealed that it was with his own fingernails. What? What does that mean? Basically, it means it wasn't murder, it was suicide. Tommy-Tuck-san laughed. Why is this pitching kinda loudly? Tommy-Tuck-san thought there was a reason to open his own throat, as hard as he could with his own nails, tore through the skin until he started to bleed. And even then, Tommy-Tuck-san didn't stop. He continued clawing, with enough intensity that it could have peeled off his nails, still clawing, still clawing. Then as his nails reached those vital arteries that should never be damaged, he continued clawing. Splat. Blood splattered on the ground around him as he bled. While gasping for air, he collapsed, his body spasmed, and he died in agony. We thought drugs were to blame, but nothing of that nature was detected. For this, it was a suicide. I never heard of such a thing. It's a natural way of dying. If this wasn't a mysterious death, then what was? The way he died in these 5 years, his death most resembled that of a curse. As if shown both myself and Tommy-Tuck-san, who proclaimed there was no such thing as a curse, that we were wrong. There were a few more suspicious details. That hurts my ears. From his body chemistry, precipitation, epilation, don't know what that is, and so on. We concluded that he was in a state of hysteria right before his death. That was a given. It's hard to believe somebody could be in a sound state of mind while clawing at their own throat. Wounds on his hand match a discarded piece of lumber found nearby. There are traces of where he struck trees and the guardrails within. Tommy-san's blood was found all over the place, meaning that while tearing at his elbow, he was swinging around a piece of lumber. There were external injuries which were not self-inflicted discovered on Tommy-Tuck-san. There is a high possibility Tommy-Tuck-san was assaulted. The external injuries suggest there may be multiple suspects. To summarize, Tommy-Tuck-san was surrounded and attacked. While wandering the night road in a state of panic, after being cornered, he picked up a piece of lumber and tried to fight back. Somewhere in there, he began madly tearing at his old throat, clawing at it, and then he died. The presumed time of death was around 9:23, meaning it occurred right after he finished talking to Tommy-Tuck-san at the festival. Everyone signed Tommy-Tuck-san's shirt, then parted ways. Right after that, oh yeah, he should have been with that woman. What about her? She's missing. She hasn't showed up to work and she hasn't returned home either. There is a very high possibility that she was involved in this incident. For a while I could only gaze off into space. Never would have thought that something unfortunate happening to someone close to me could affect me this deeply. The time I had spent with Tommy-Tuck-san was short, but we went to the same festival, spent time together, and took part in the same competition. He was one of us. We have been continuing the investigation on various fronts, but when it comes to Arishida-sama's curse, the villagers here aren't very cooperative. That I know well. I would have been none the wiser if not for Tommy-Tuck-san, the outsider, telling me. So that's why you came to me, because I'm not originally from Himizawa. I should have been angry that was the reason he wanted to hear what from me. If things go the way they have been, then the conclusion would be that Geo Tomitak died from Arishida-sama's curse. He turned away from me and gazed far off into the distance. The night of the Onikakushi, during that sacred ritual, he callously snapped off photos angering Arishida-sama. That's how it's going to turn out. There's no way Arishida-sama would inflict divine punishment on Tomitak-san. Tomitak-san had to have been killed by humans and a cowardly group, no less. There's no way I'm gonna let this end up being covered by the fault of some curse. And I think so as well. There's no such thing as a divine punishment or curses. The tense mood was cut with the man's hearty laugh. That's how this must be, Mabada-san. Cooperation from individuals in Himizawa who don't believe in the curse is indispensable. Understand? Neither Tomitak-san nor I believed in curses, but with the way things were going, it would just end with Tomitak-san's death marking the 5th year. Which would mean that Himizawa had rejected Tomitak-san. That was something I couldn't allow. Tomitak-san was one of us. He didn't live in Himizawa, but he came every single year in a sense. He was more resident than I was. There was no way Tomitak-san could have been cursed by Arishida-sama, but there's nothing I can do to help. I have no idea what happened that night either. No. If you see or hear something that draws your attention, then that is enough. If I see or hear, we're talking in future tense? Things or people or rumors, anything is fine. I don't care if they're unfounded. Here, this is my number. If I'm not there, then just leave a message with whoever picks up. He handed me a piece of paper with his number on it, but I hesitated for a second. If I took it, then whether I wanted to or not, I would be mired knee-deep in this matter. Please help me solve these questions surrounding Tomitak-san's unfortunate death. That's right. Why was I hesitating? I needed to find the murderer who killed my friend. I snatched up the piece of paper as a satisfied grin spread across his face. Everything we spoke of today is a secret. Please keep this confidential. Understood? From your friends as well. Especially from Shinozaki-san and Furude-san. Please do not inform them. Shinozaki? You mean Mion? Why are you saying that they had something to do with this incident? With my friend's names brought up so abruptly and being told to keep it a secret from them, I became rather angry. This is what they call investigative privilege, I suppose. Don't play games with me. Mion is a close friend of mine. I snapped at him, but he didn't seem to especially be offended. I wouldn't mind telling you, but it may upset you. Say it. He hesitated a little. Turning his gaze to the outside of the car, he began to speak after thinking for a bit. There is a possibility that the string of incidences happening here in Himizawa are a result of a village conspiracy. There's no way that could be right. Give me a break. First of all, is there any proof of that? No evidence? Also, each of the cases were resolved and none of the perpetrators had any direct connection to the village. Then how did you come to that conclusion? Every year the enemies of the village die on the night of Onikakushi. Don't you think that's enough reason to suspect something? Only the residents of Himizawa felt that the day of the Onikakushi was sacred. So basically, because incidences happened on that day, it was somehow related to Himizawa? First it was a dam construction foreman, then it was a villager that supported it. Those the village holding grudge against died one after the other from mysterious causes. The means are different, but in the end, the results are the same. Unfounded unreasonable suspicion. But it couldn't just be shrugged off. So the victims after that, what about the Shinto priest and his wife's death? They weren't enemies of the village. The villagers had expected leadership from the Shinto priest at the time of the dam dispute, but he wasn't proactive, so there was a faction of villagers who harbored ill will towards him as a result. Ill will? It's not like he did anything bad to the village. What about the housewife after that? She died because she was the housewife of the brother of a supporter? That's such a trivial reason to kill someone. What about Tomitak-san? He's not fit away with the dam project at all. Was he just killed because he was an outsider? In the beginning it fell on those related to the dam project, but as the years went on, the enemy threshold of the village of the victims had become much lower. Well, that's the scary part. The bar keeps getting lower. What's scary about that? It means it's not just enemies of the village anymore, just being an outsider is reason enough. The next year's victim, they're just going to pick out of... They're just going to be picked out of the outsider pool, which is me. It might be a person that just moved here. What do you mean by... I swallowed my words. Here and Himizawa were the ones who would be considered the most outside, would be my family. I was proof enough of that, wasn't I? I still couldn't remember the names of the people I passed by. Then the next victims, my family, was you saying was gonna be me? But what does that have to do with Mion? I can't go into details, but the Shinozaki family led the damn protests. Quite privily so. This is also true of Mion Shinozaki-san herself. She has quite a few misdemeanors and obstructions of public worker offences on her record because of the protest. I knew Mion knew what it meant to fight. This was the first time I heard of a family leading the protest though. Then, well, what did it all mean? Are you saying that Mion's family is involved with a string of incidences? I wouldn't go that far, I'm just saying that if it was a conspiracy, then they'll have the highest probability of being behind it. Not a very clear explanation. It felt like he'd magnificently avoided the details I really wanted to know. We don't know who or how involved anyone is right now. That is exactly why I don't want you to say anything to the villagers. Instead of answering, I gave a very bitter expression. It seemed that he understood it well enough. But think of it like this. I don't want to worry the villagers who blindly believe in this curse. How about that? What do you mean, how about that? How should I know? But the reasoning behind wanting me to not carelessly open my mouth, it wasn't too hard to comprehend. The perpetrator was here. It had nothing to do with the curse. He was definitely going to be caught by the police and made to pay for his crimes. And none of the villagers should have anything to do with that process. It may cause those sensitive about the curse to just worry needlessly. Just like everyone kept it from me. So I wouldn't worry about it. It is my turn to keep it from them, so they didn't have to worry. I was just talking to myself. Unlike me, everyone else had been worrying over these mysterious deaths yearly, and the incident this time probably means a lot more to them. I didn't want to burden them anymore. In the end, everything was as the man had wanted, as in spite as it was, but it couldn't be helped. I understand, I'll keep it to myself. Is that fine, Mr. Ushi from the Okinomiya police station? Ushi, okay? You can just call me Kura-chan if you want, Kura. Okay? Oh no, Ushi-san is fine. The way he said it was unpleasant, yet retained hints of politeness. It was a spitting image of a vulgar police officer, though I've never seen one this bulky before in the cop shows I watch. I've taken up too much time, and your friends are waiting, aren't they? I should probably let you get back to them. The door opened with a click and it steamed the oppressive heat. It was blistering outside of the car. Was it really this hot of a day? It was almost cruel heat, as opposed to the mechanical coolness inside the car. It was as if the landlord himself suddenly hated me. I felt a little sad as that thought crossed my mind. I didn't mean to suspect you, friends. Please don't misunderstand that. I refrained from telling him that it was too late to say something that's self-serving. It's fine if you don't see or hear anything, Mabara-san. There is enough proof that the village is not involved. I'll contact you if I hear or see anything, but I'm not a detective, so don't expect too much from me. I won't. You don't have to become a detective. Just go on living as you have until now. Just let me know if you notice anything. I hastily made my way back to the school building after giving him a quick bow. See you later. Farewell, Mabara-kun. I returned to the school building without looking back. I don't know how much time has passed. I did feel bad for keeping them waiting, but right now there was a lot on my mind. Tomodachi-san's death was hard enough as it was, but to think that there was the possibility of a village conspiracy, worse still, there was also a chance that Mion was involved. Nonsense. Impossible. Not Mion, Rina, Satoko, or Rika-chan. It was a group that attacked Tomodachi-san. Who could the perpetrators be? Could it be they were hiding here? Somewhere in Himizawa? Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa. I'm not gonna call it, I'm gonna call it Himizawa. I guess I skipped the na. Hinamizawa, yeah, I'm not gonna call it that, Himizawa. I don't know. All I could say for certain was that I knew that, Mian couldn't be the perpetrator. It's me, Chan! The perpetrator! Huh? I was starting to hear Rina's voice. With the rope in the, lounge. Nope. No. Rina clenched her head while flailing about. Looks like she was just self-destructing over here. Wow. Ah! Yachi-san, you're quite late. As you may well know, I'm seething with anger. Ah, sorry about that. I was called into the staff room, you see. You were reprimanded for bad behavior? That's a shame. Well, it's been pretty heated over here, since it's getting pretty late. Let's make the next game the last one. If I remember right, I had 0 points. Is it pretty much decided that I want to be finishing in last place? Don't worry, Kakashi-kun. I'm at -1 point. How the heck? Her score is lower than mine. I wasn't even playing. Is it because she just lost? This is the final match to decide the penalty is going to be carried by Rina alone or both Richan and Rika. No. Ki-chan and Rina. Yeah, right. Just let Rina do the penalty by herself. We made a promise, Kakashi-kun, that we would both win. I waited all this time, you know. Ugh, sorry about that. I followed my initial plan by showing Rina my cards, but I didn't say who was the criminal and just waited for her to call. I got it! The murderer is me! With the poison at the entrance! Is it? My, Rina, quite a quick answer. Another stab in the dark, Rina's correct. Then it's decided that Kachi-san shall take part in the penalty as well. Hooray! Kachi-kun, let's both do our best. Yeah, let's do our best. It's my fault, so I have no choice. Then that's game. It's me, Mion Shinozaki, ranked first. In dead last are Yukachi Mabada and Rina Higura. Everyone applauded, the game ended. The problem now was the penalty. Now then, I'm ranked first, so I'll decide what you'll be buying for the gopher penalty. What will she make us buy? I wonder. Let's blacklist the drugstore. That was your reign, wasn't it? Huh? I don't have any business at the drugstore. This old man's already got a list prepared for you on this piece of paper. Whoa, there's a lot of written here. A lot? Damn it. What is she making us buy? 2 blocks of tofu, shampoo and conditioner, apple vinegar and fried tofu. The heck is this? It's a shopping list. Looks more like a shopping list than a penalty. Mi-chan was certain she was going to win today. Rule 7 of our society, you cannot refuse any penalty. Here's some money. The shampoo I usually get is Fruit Fable, thanks. This is just your grocery list. I promised myself that if I won next time, I'd make her go buy hemorrhoid cream. The penalty will be different though, so you can't actually do that. Higurashi, when they cry. Oh, that was it? You have received new tips. Oh, I didn't read that. Not a clue. There are more than 4 perpetrators. Okay, let's read this. Hyperbolic shock introduced by clawing at their own throats. Tissue is packed under the nails, not someone else's nails. It's undoubtedly by the individual's own nails. The shape of the scars also matches. Yeah, I know the immediate cause of death was suicide. I get it. You're saying the cause of death is a natural, right? It's kind of like when your back itches and you scratch it a little too hard and draw blood. Some of Tomita-san's fingernails had been pulled out. It's actually quite simple to pull out one of your own nails, but it really hurts. Under normal circumstances, the pain would prevent you from completely pulling them out. Also, there were a lot of bruises on Tomitak's body. It's clear from the shape of them that he was assaulted first by someone or a group of people. According to the toxicology report, the deceased was in an extreme state of hysteria right before death. Then he fought back and clawed out his own throat because of how hysteric he had become. The guys attacking him clearly would have been surprised by that. It is possible that in such an abnormal environment, a person could perform actions that a sane individual couldn't possibly imagine. Of course, those are very rare cases. Actually, Ushi-kun, that wooden plank the deceased used as a weapon, they only found sand and the paint from the guardrail on it. What about cloth, fiber, or human skin? Nothing. The deceased didn't strike the assailant. Or could it be they took the plank he was fighting back with? In that case, they wouldn't have gone out their way to replace it with another. They would have taken them all. That's true. Tomitak are pretty built and tanned. He was quite athletic. That's right. He was pretty active. I can't imagine what kind of sports he did when he was alive, but I think his physical strength would be on the higher side, meaning he would be difficult to overpower in a brawl. If a man with such physique sensed he was in danger and swung the plank around quickly, it's just unthinkable that it wouldn't even nick the perpetrator, and his opponents were unarmed. This guy had a wooden plank. Do you think you'd hit him at least once? To surround and take down someone of his physique, I wonder how many people it would take. Yeah, dimwit. You should know better than anyone else. Have you forgotten your bad cop days? If I was to take down this guy, how many would I need? When a group wants to take down a big prey, it's fundamental to attack with numbers. I guess about 4. Well, if there was a gap in their strength, they'd probably manage. Then there was quite a few perpetrators. Say, any drunken disorderly group of more than 4 suspects. A group of 4 or more. Just if they had that many, then couldn't they have hidden the body in a less obvious location? Or did he break away from that fatal predicament? Then there would be no reason to commit suicide. Well, but I still can't comprehend the irregular way he died. It's full of mysteries. That under serious consideration on my end too. That's under serious consideration on my end too. I'll be examining it as thoroughly as possible, but don't get your hopes up. After all, we've never encountered a death like this before. I'm not hoping for much, but I am looking forward to the results. Ushi-san, the chief is calling you. Thanks, see you later. See you round. Yeah, best wishes. Okay, that's the first tips. Tips. Search notice. Why are you not clicking? Oh, there it is. It's a black screen. Joro Tomitak, deceased. Residence in a cheap hotel in Shinobone City. Registered under the name Joro Tomitak. Pen name. What's his real name? I don't know. Traveled via a folding bike. No license. The bicycle was found 3,000 meters away, by the side of a forest path. Present on the day of the festival, accompanied by the missing Mio Takano. That's her name? Okay. Was seen around 9 p.m. by police, location afterwards unknown. Held residence in himself for 1 week, each season for the last 5 to 6 years. Freelance photographer specialized in wild birds. Check with news magazine companies. Nothing suspicious in the film located among the articles of the deceased. While it was among the articles of the deceased, mere acts of violence, because he didn't take anything. From the contents of the wallet, he spent most of his time around Tokyo and Shibuya, along the Shobu National Rail Line. No individual matching the name Joro Tomitak in the residence record of any of the Tokyo wards. Compare T to dental records, sent to the Metro Police. Attach a photo, sent to the Metro Police. Contacting magazine regarding Joro Tomitak. Mio Takano missing. Nurse at Ivy Clinic. Became close to Tomitak through her passion of wild bird photography. Resides in Akinomiya District. Single. Witness occupying Tomitak on the festival grounds, currently missing. Was Tomitak also single? I don't remember. Abduction? or maybe a suspect, an important person of interest, had no motive to kill the deceased, squabble from jealousy? Need to thoroughly investigate their relationship, place her work, etc. Need to get information from the police on scene again. I want some cream puffs. 4 jumbo ones. Yushi. Oh, alrighty then. Yeah, that should be it for this time. So, yeah. Bye bye! Bye!